Welcome to Bible Reading at Night. I have a message to deliver to you, as I believe it was given to me from God to give to you. I am not the message. I'm only here to deliver the message. I'm not here to make you believe the message. That is entirely up to you. However, I have been given the light and the understanding to read this message to you. And we will start with the revelation to John chapter 12. A great sign was seen in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. She was with child. She cried out in pain, laboring to give birth. Now, let's stop right there for a second. So, there was a great sign seen in heaven. So, the sign or the vision that was seen of a woman clothed with the sun. That means the woman was brilliant. She was bright. She illuminated. It shows a woman of authority. Okay? A woman of much authority. And the moon under her feet means that she was clothed with the sun, so she was bright and illuminating. And the moon is a lesser light, which means that she had authority over the lesser God. Let's say she was illuminated with God with the brightness of the sun. God is the light. Jesus is the light. So she was illuminated with God. And her foot was on top of the lesser light, which is Satan. So she had the authority over Satan by way of God, her Father. So we read that again. A great sign was seen in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. We look at the crown of 12 stars and say that the 12 stars were the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 tribes of Israel. And you know that Israel was Jacob. All right? So you have Abraham, the grandfather, Isaac, the father, then Jacob. We're not talking about Esau right now, just Jacob. And Jacob became Israel. And Israel had 12 sons, which were the 12 tribes of Israel or of Jacob. Okay? So, on her crown, on her head, a crown of 12 stars. She was with child, so she was pregnant. She was with child. She cried out in pain, laboring to give birth. Now, another sign was seen in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon. From the start, I tell you, the great red dragon is Satan. Another sign was seen in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his head 7 crowns. So if you look at 7 heads, you're looking at kingdoms or kings. Kingdoms or kings. Emperors. Tyrants. All right? People like that. Dictators, rulers. Okay? Presidents. Okay. Another sign was seen in heaven. Behold, a great dragon having 7 heads. So 7 kings or 7 kingdoms and 10 horns. Now 10 horns are kings also, but they are lesser authority than the kings themselves. In other words, like a vice president. Generals. People of high authority that in any given time would have the opportunity to become a king or to become a president. All right? So, another sign was seen in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his heads 7 crowns. So the seven heads, seven kings, seven people of high authority, and each had a crown, so they were kings. People, as I said, king, presidents, people like that. His tail, now this is chapter 12 and verse 4. His tail drew 1/3 of the stars of the sky and threw them to the earth. The dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth, so that when she gave birth, he might devour her child. Now, not to take it literally like Satan or being as in the form of a dragon, standing in front of the woman with his mouth open, ready to eat the child when the child is born. It's not like that, no. What he's talking about is that he had his intent to first degree murder, to murder, to kill the child being born, which is Jesus the Christ. And when the woman that was clothed with the Son is Mary, his mother. Okay, so Mary was about to give birth, and Satan had in his mind to find some way or another to kill Jesus the Christ. That's the number one objective that he had in mind. So he was going to devour the child once the child is conceived. Okay? Now, so let's read it again. The dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth, so that when she gave birth, he might devour the child. She gave birth to her son. So Jesus was born. She gave birth to her son, a male. Jesus was a male child. She gave birth to her son, a male child, who is to rule all the nations with a rod of iron. Okay? With a rod of iron. Her child was caught up to God and to his throne. And you know, Jesus did ascend into heaven to his Father and sat on the throne. I believe on the right side. Nevertheless, he was on his throne and he was called up to heaven. So this is talking about the past, when Jesus was born, and what was the intent, what was going to happen to him once he was born by Satan himself. Had the end for him. Okay? But he was but he lived his life, and he was eventually called up. Now, so Satan eventually succeeded in having his body killed, having Jesus killed as a man. But when he rose again, he rose as a God. Not necessarily a man, but a God-man. Okay? In every sense of the word. Because he had the power. He had the power before then. He could have saved himself as well. But he had gone through what was set for him to go through. So that was the plan that God had. So he had to give up his life. It was a sacrifice. All right? Now, so she gave birth to a son, a male child, who is to rule all the nations with a rod of iron. Her child was caught up to God and to his throne. The woman fled into the wilderness. So not necessarily to trees and woods and things like that, but she ran away. She was out, she ran away, and trying to escape. The woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared by God, that there they may nourish her 1,260 days. 1,260 days. And you can do the math on that. It'll probably come out to maybe 3.5 years or something like that. 3.5 years. The woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared by God, that there they may nourish her 1,260 days. There was war in the sky. So now listen. So after Jesus was called up to heaven, Then a war began in heaven. Not before Jesus was called up, not during the time he was on earth, not before he was born. The war in heaven occurred as a result of Satan trying to kill Jesus the Christ and what he had done and succeeded in doing as far as killing him when he was as a man here on earth. So that was payback for that. That was serious payback for that. So Satan was paid back for what he tried to do. So here you go. There was war in the sky. Michael and his angels made war on the dragon. I told you the dragon is Satan. The dragon and his angels made war. So they fought against Michael and his angels. They did not prevail, though. They did not win. Michael and the angels won. No place was found for them anymore in heaven. So there was no, heaven said, y'all out of here. Satan and his angels were cast out of heaven. Okay? They lost the battle and they were also cast out. All right? And they had the battle because of what they did to Jesus. And what their attempt was. What their intent was. All right? So Michael and his angels made war on the dragon. The dragon and his angels made war. They did not prevail. No place was found for them anymore in heaven. The great dragon was thrown down. The old serpent, he who is called the devil and Satan. I told you. The deceiver of the whole world. He's a liar. He is a liar. The deceiver of the whole world. Not just the United States, the whole world. He was thrown down to earth. Not under the earth, not on the side of the earth, not above the earth, not around the earth. He was thrown down to the earth. He's here. He was thrown down here, right here, where you are and I. He was thrown down to the earth. And his angels were thrown down with him. All of them came down here. All of them were thrown down. And they are here now. This is where they are. Not under the ground, on the ground. On top of the ground, just like you are and I. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him. I heard a loud voice in heaven saying, now the salvation, the power, and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Christ has come. So see, so when Jesus was called up, they saw that he had arrived. So they said, now the salvation, which is Jesus the Christ, the power, Jesus the Christ, and the kingdom, Jesus the Christ, of our God, and the authority of his Christ has come. All right. For the accuser of our brothers has been thrown down. So Satan was the accuser of the angels. And he was thrown down. He was the accuser of Jesus the Christ. He was thrown down. Okay? Who accuses them before our God day and night. So this was occurring day and night, every day. Day and night, every day. They overcame him. Now, watch this now. Michael and his angels, they overcame him because of the Lamb's blood. So because of Jesus' sacrifice, because he gave of himself, he shed blood, they won the war in heaven. They won the war in heaven because of Jesus' sacrifice and of their word. Jesus' sacrifice, the blood of Jesus, and their word helped them to be triumphant against the devil, Satan, the dragon, and his angels. So, here we go. I heard a loud voice in heaven saying, now the salvation, the power, and the kingdom of God, and the authority of his Christ has come. For the accuser of our brothers has been thrown down. The accuser, the accuser, not accusers, the accuser of our brothers, has been thrown down, who accuses them before our God day and night. Them, the angels I told you about. Every day. They overcame him because, you see that? They overcame him because of the Lamb's blood and because of the word of their testimony. Because of their testimony. They did not love their life even to death. So they fought hard and they did not worry about their demise. Okay? Now, still talking about the angels now. Jesus the Christ and the angels. So, it's very important that this is understood. They did not love their life even to death. Therefore, rejoice, heavens. Therefore, rejoice, heavens, and you who live in them. So, you don't live in heaven, the angels do. So, that's what they're talking about. Heavens, and there are different levels. Heavens, not heaven. So, it says, rejoice, heavens, and you who dwell in them. Woe to the earth and to the sea, because the devil has gone down to you, having great wrath, knowing that he has but a short time. So I told you, so Satan was cast down here. So we the ones got to be careful. He's no longer in heaven. He's right here, and he's messing with us, and he is really, really, really angry. And this is his wrath. So listen, when the dragon saw that he was thrown down to the earth, he persecuted the woman who gave birth to the male child. So when he was thrown down, when he was thrown down, Mary was still alive. Okay? So when Jesus was called up, his mother was still living. And when Satan was cast out to the earth, he still went after her. All right? So when the dragon saw that he was thrown down to the earth, he persecuted the woman who gave birth to the male child, who gave birth to Jesus the Christ. 2 wings of the great eagle were given to the woman, that she might fly into the wilderness to her place, so that she might be nourished for a time and a half, from the face of the serpent. So she was provided a means of escape. That's what that means. It was a divine escape. So she received the help of God. 2 wings from the great eagle, God helped her escape from the face of Satan. All right. The serpent spewed water out of his mouth after the woman like a river. Satan had power, didn't he? He has power, doesn't he? So he spewed water out of his mouth after the woman like a river, that he might cause her to be carried away by the stream. So he tried to get her. He tried to get her. He was after her, and let's say he caused a flood or what happened. But the earth opened up and received the water, so she was not carried away by the stream. So I'm at verse 16 now, still in chapter 12. The earth helped the woman. See what I said? The earth helped the woman. And the earth opened its mouth and swallowed up the river which the dragon spewed out of his mouth. I told you. The dragon grew angry with the woman and went away to make war with the rest of her offspring, or the rest of her seed. So he said, well, okay, I'm done with her. That's okay, but I can't get you, but I'll get your seed. I'll get your children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren, their relatives, all her seed, anything that comes from her DNA. All right? The dragon grew angry with the woman and went away to make war with the rest of her offspring, who keep God's commandments and hold Jesus' testimony. So he is after those of us who keeps the commandment of Jesus the Christ, of God, keeps the commandments of God, and hold to Jesus' testimony, that we know that he died and he was resurrected and he shed blood. Now, as I said, as a result of him doing that, Michael and his angels, they won the war and Satan was cast down. Unfortunately, he was cast down here. All right, now, so that was the past and how it started, how it began. Okay? Now you know why he was after Jesus the Christ as soon as he was to come into the world to destroy him. Okay? And he had his angels with him. But Michael and them, you did this, you tried to do this to him, and you did this to him. So as a result, we're going to do this to you. So they made war against one another because of that. Because Jesus went through what he went through, sacrificed his life, shed blood, and was called up to heaven, he was received by Michael and them, and they won. So Jesus the Christ and Michael and his angels, they won against Satan. Okay? And his angels. Now, that was the past. That was back there. Now let's go this way. We're gonna go forward now. Now we're at we're gonna do chapter 13 when I come back.